Hey friends in beauty, if you're a professional makeup artist or beauty pro who is tired of juggling multiple tools to run your business, I got great news for you. Beauty Pro Funnels is here to simplify your life and take your business to the next level. Unlike other platforms like Wix, Squarespace, or a.k.a, Beauty Pro Funnels was created by a makeup artist for makeup artists. This is the world's first all-in-one software that helps you book clients, sell your products, and even launch courses all in one place. No need for separate subscriptions that drain your wallet or tools that don't speak your language as a beauty pro. With Beauty Pro Funnels, you're not just getting another booking tool. You're unlocking the ability to create multiple revenue streams, so whether you're behind the chair or not, you're making money. Imagine accepting bookings, selling your beauty products, and offering courses all without the stress of managing separate systems. That could be a big headache. Let me break it down to you one more time. Your website, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. Your portfolio, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. Your booking site, build it on Beauty Pro Funnels. And your e-commerce site, host it in Beauty Pro Funnels. Want to offer beauty courses or digital products? You can sell them inside of Beauty Pro Funnels, and you'll be able to send invoices, digital contracts, newsletters, and do all of your marketing directly from your Beauty Pro Funnels account. It's mind-blowing. Listen, you're going to save hundreds of dollars every single month by replacing over 10 platforms when you make the switch to Beauty Pro Funnels like Wix, Squarespace, a.k.a, WordPress, Vagaro, Honeybooks, 17 Hats, Dubsado, MailChimp, Klaviyo, Kajabi, DocuSign, even Shopify. It's crazy. I know you got at least one of those. And here's the best part. Tayana and her team spent over a year building plug-and-play templates into your account for pretty much everything, so you never have to start from scratch at all. So all of your appointment confirmations, reminders, and payment reminders and stuff like that for your clients, they have already been written out for you. You can even gather reviews and referrals all on autopilot. You'll free up so many hours of time each week so you can focus on what you love, your artistry. Plus, with their mobile app, you can manage your entire business from the palm of your hand. Send invoices, schedule appointments, and even take payments on the go. I believe in Beauty Pro Funnels so much that I recently moved the Friends of Beauty site to Beauty Pro Funnels, and I am loving it. It's a game changer because it's not just a platform. I swear it is like having your personal business assistant designed specifically for makeup artists and beauty pros like you. So here's the deal. If you want to see what all the hype is about, visit getbeautyprofunnels.com/friends to get a personalized tour and see how Beauty Pro Funnels can transform your business today. That's getbeautyprofunnels.com/friends because you deserve the best tool for your beauty business.
I started out as the barber JM, but I knew I couldn't scale that because I would only be speaking to the barber space. But I was like, I gotta figure out something else. I gotta do something different. And one day my work was like published in a lot of different places, and one of my closest friends was like, man, bro, you like a popular nobody, you everywhere. And I was like, that's it. Because it fits my personality. Like when you scroll my Instagram, you don't see my celebrity clients like that. You don't hear me boasting and bragging. You just always see me coming up and being who I am. And then when people hear me speak, they're like, oh, this young brother got something going on. And you create a movement with your brand, that means it grew legs and people believe in it, and they're going to continue to grow legs with you and continue to push it and grow it and make it bigger than the CEO can.
Right. And showing up authentically too. So that
I'm definitely going to be that.
You catch the vibe. I like that though. I like when people show up as themselves and don't feel like they have to code switch in the room, and that just takes a lot of energy.
But my mother always been a platform artist, always been an educator, always worked with brands. And so she put me on stage and I fell in love with it. And my personality naturally is like, I'm a big comedian. Like I just laugh and joke around all day long. And so I figured out how to take what I did in a barbershop and transition it to a stage. And then I figured out how to put education with the jokes that I'm saying. And so that's my kind of style. Like I tell people, I don't educate you, I entertain you.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get authentic answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. Join me every week as me and my special guest reveal the keys to longevity and success in the beauty industry, from the ups and downs of their journey to the nitty-gritty of their struggles and triumphs. We're spilling the tea on it all, and most importantly, having fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty here, a.k.a. Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Now, in today's episode, I'm super excited because we have John Mosley, a.k.a. Popular Nobody, in the Friends in Beauty guest chair. So John is the founder of the Popular Nobody Collective and is one of the most sought after barbers in the industry. He's been proud to work with names like Kendrick Lamar, Rihanna, Larenz Tate, Idris Elba, the NFLPA, MLB teams, and many more. Winning NAHA Educator of the Year 2022, John's mission is to show others that their dreams are possible. Now, after 15 years of building a successful brand and surrounding himself with the best creatives around, he's focused on helping other artists with business building, branding, marketing, strategy, personal development, and mindset. All of the tools needed to become a popular nobody. I was so excited for this conversation. Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, John.
What's up? What's up? I'm glad I'm a friend and I'm in a beauty space. You feel me?
Yes.
No, it's a privilege and honor to always get asked to join podcasts and just talk. And I'm super thankful. I'm glad that you're a beauty blazer because what you're doing is blazing in the beauty industry, heating things up. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what come out of this thing.
Yes, I'm so excited. This has been a long time coming for me. Before we start chatting and yapping away, we're going to start off with some icebreakers so the Friends of Beauty audience can get to know you a little bit outside of what you do for your brand. So, first one, just give us three random facts about you.
Random facts. As a kid, I used to play the piano.
Nice.
Um, I love to cook. And what else? I'm the baby brother out of three siblings. Out of two
Oh,
siblings of my well, three. I'm the third.
okay. I love that he's the baby, likes to cook. He used to play the piano. What's like a one of your most popular dishes that you make that people say is good?
I'm not to toot my own horn, but everything. I cook everything. Like I love making grilled smoked oxtails.
Ooh,
Yeah, and
okay. Oxtail.
I put my own little candy sauce to it. It ain't like that mamba sauce in DC, but it's some sauce though.
Yeah, oxtail has been going crazy over the last few years. Somebody was telling me recently, like oxtail used to be so cheap, but now they putting it on pizza, they putting it on
Yeah.
all types of stuff now.
They figured out it's actually good meat. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It's almost like that old school mentality where it was part of the cow that got thrown away, and
Right.
now people finding it as a good sense tender piece of meat once you cook it right.
They know he was over there eating good. They like, give
Yeah,
us the oxtail, please. They know he was eating good. Now they know.
yeah, yeah. Now they done caught on to the secret.
Dang, man. Okay. Well, what do people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
Um, that's a great question. What do people always ask me that I'm good at besides professionally? Um, just changing the mood that people could be in. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just using my energy to help change what somebody might be going through.
I like that. That's a good trait.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. When is the last time that you did something for the first time? Have you had any new experiences lately?
Yeah, last week I was in six different places in 5 days. So
That's
that was
crazy.
that was the first time for me. It was new. I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I did it.
You said six different places in 5 days?
Yeah, so I was in Dallas on Sunday. Sunday night, flew out to Nebraska. Nebraska, half a day, Monday night, Charlotte to Tampa. Tuesday, I was with you at Beauty Blazers. Wednesday, I flew to Toronto, Canada. I was in Toronto for 2 days. and then I flew to Arizona on Friday morning, and then back to Dallas.
All of these different time zones too.
Yeah, in 5 days
Wow. What was
or
everything
six
like
days,
salon
really.
centric related or it was different?
Different companies.
Wow. I mean, what a blessing as well. Like that's a lot though.
Yeah, like I don't complain about my work schedule. I don't complain about none of that because some people ain't getting the opportunities that I'm getting. And I always say, nothing is too heavy. When I ask the man upstairs to bless me with opportunities, they always say heavy is the head that wears the crown. So,
Yeah.
that's just what it is. I guess I got to wear the crown and be proud of it.
Yeah, it comes with the territory.
Yeah, I'm good. It's all right. My neck's strong.
I like to travel too, so I would be the same way. Like, hey, y'all go fly me out. I'm there.
Yeah, that's literally what it was. It was more or less like I said it's in one of my posts recently that is, doing it with a purpose.
Hmm.
Movement with a purpose. You know what I mean? And so I think so many people don't have purpose, or they have it, but they just ain't tapped in and figured out what their purpose is.
Hmm.
So it don't feel like nothing to them. But if you're doing it with a purpose, there you don't get tired.
Absolutely. Okay, I love it. What is a current mini win? I call mini wins like little milestones, like small wins or highlight that you've had so far for the year.
Um, it was funny. I was just looking back at my calendar, and I've done more work in this first quarter this year than I have done in recent years. So it lets me know as my business it continues to grow, no matter what the times is, I'm still what I like to say is keeping that blue flame because the blue flame is the hottest flame. So it always is a self check when I go back and look at my calendar to see my bookings and see where I was and all of
Mm.
that. So I think that is it right there.
Okay, I love that. So last one, for the icebreakers. If you weren't the founder of the popular Nobody brand and a barber, educator, speak all the amazing things that you do, have you ever seen yourself doing anything else? Is there anything else that you would do?
That's funny. I had this question sometimes. There's this conversation with my son sometimes. Like I don't know what else I would be doing other than like I said, I love to cook, but I wouldn't do that as a career. It's just a hobby that I think like feeding people soul. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But if anything, it would probably be like a football coach.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that. You're a pretty big guy, so I can see that. Okay. Love the icebreakers for sure.
Yeah, that
I,
was good ones.
hmm?
They were some good ones.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you like them.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard you mention, well, let me go back. The first time, I think I really like manifested this because I saw you speak for the first time last year at a Black Beauty Roster event. And I had already like just jotted you down. Like I followed you on social media and I was like, okay, I'm gonna circle back and like ask to interview him. And then when I finally got to my list, I went to go I always try to look for people's emails first because I'm like DM is so like I'm not like old school, but I feel like sometimes DMs are like really personal, like if
Mhm.
you don't know the person. So I think I went to go look for your email, but I couldn't find your email. So I said, oh, I'm going to have to like DM him. I'm going to have to reach out that way. Let me put a pin in that. So when I was down in Tampa and I was just minding my business, shopping in the salon centric store, and I saw you walk in, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, are you serious? Like, he's right here. I'm going to definitely ask him to be on the podcast." So I'm so
Yeah.
glad you said yes and that you're here.
It's I'm glad you took something away from that beauty roster because it was like a juggle for me. Like
Good.
I was like, I want people to recognize me for my voice more than they do my hands now. And I took that opportunity to host that panel because I felt like it would show people like, okay, this dude is more than what we might know him as.
Right.
And
I
so
love
that's why I did it. And so I'm glad it sparked something in you because that always confirms that I made the right decision.
Absolutely. Like this is only my second time hearing you speak now at the Beauty Blazers, but like I told you before we started, it's like always gems. I was looking at my notes too before we hopped on because I took some notes when you all did the panel and everything. I know you shared with us about the name Popular Nobody. I think it's iconic. I absolutely love it. But what's the story behind it for friends of beauty here And like, how does it reflect your journey?
I feel like right now what we see in the world is so many people trying to create a character online, and they
Mm,
trying to, live off of this persona of what this image is that they trying to build of themselves. And so for me, it was more or less. I started out as the barber JM, but I knew I couldn't scale that because I would only be speaking to the barber space. But I was like, I gotta figure out something else. I gotta do something different. And one day my work was like published in a lot of different places. And one of my closest friends was like, man, bro, you like a popular nobody, you everywhere. And I was like, that's it. Because it fits my personality. Like when you scroll my Instagram, you don't see my celebrity clients like that. You don't hear me boasting and bragging. You just always see me coming up and being who I am. And then when people hear me speak, they're like, oh, this young brother got something going on. And that's
mhm.
for me, it just fit my personality. It fit who I am. I didn't have to build a character. That's who I am. And
Yeah.
so that's how probably nobody came about.
But what does the nobody mean? Like, somebody's gonna be like, everybody's somebody, but
It's like an oxymoron. It's just a little play, a play on words. Like I always give the example of if I came over to your space, right? If I came to DC and you introduced me to your group of friends, I'm the nobody out that group.
hmm.
You the popular one. I'm the nobody out the group. So it's like an oxymoron, like a play. Like we all got a position. We all got a space. You know what I mean? And it's okay sometimes being a nobody until people hear you and you make an impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree. And I think you said it keeps you humble too, so you don't like necessarily get
Yeah.
a big head and think that, oh, I'm cutting Rihanna and Kendrick, like I'm popping. Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to correct that. I didn't cut Rihanna, but it was the tour of Eminem and Rihanna. So I was
Ooh,
on tour with them. And
I love
so
that.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people get that confused when they read that, and it's like, no, no, no. It was a tour of the Monster Tour, and I was on tour with, but I was on Eminem's side.
Yes, I love
So,
that. What was tour
yeah,
life like? That's different.
it was definitely different. I've been on two different tours and two different type of tours. Like when I went on tour with M, it was like flying on the weekend, you do the job, and then you fly back out. And then I went on tour with Kendrick, and that tour was like I actually got on the bus and had the bus experience. So I took the two different routes just to feel it.
Yeah, I like that. Oh my God. 'Cause I think you're only maybe the second or third barber that I've had on the show. So I don't really know too much about like the barbering industry. I'm a makeup artist first. So I've been doing makeup for 12 years and so of course I can speak more to makeup, but I think it's always like really cool to I always tell people if you're not in a certain industry, then you don't really know what goes on there. Of course, we know people need haircuts, but I don't know why I never thought about barbers like traveling on tour and stuff like that.
It's not too many that get to experience that because most celebrities they get their hair cut by whoever hottest in the city. That somebody referred to them because they don't want to pay that fee to have that barber travel the whole time.
Hmm.
So it's definitely a blessing when you get the opportunity. And I think it's something that if you're a barber that has a celebrity client that's a musician and that's something that you strive to do, I think you just have that conversation with them to see where does it fit and can you make it happen. And sometimes you might have to pay for yourself for the first couple of times to
Yeah.
get to somewhere, but get the experience.
Yeah, I've definitely had those opportunities before where I'm paying for my flights and my hotel, but it has led to so many other opportunities that have like paid that off 10 times
Hmm.
for sure. And I know that NAHA is like a big deal for the hair industry. So
Yeah.
winning like the Educator 2022, like how did that was it Educator?
Yeah, I want educator of the year.
So how does that do people have to recommend you, nominate you? How do you get something like that, that accolade?
So I had to submit two letters of recommendation. And then I had to submit five photos, and then I had to submit two videos. One video was me teaching, which was like a 30-second clip of me teaching. And then the second video was a minute and 30-second clip of me expressing why I should be educator of the year. And that was that. And then it's out your hands.
And they chose correctly that year.
Yeah, I feel so. I feel that way.
I love it. Oh my gosh. So I want to ask you too, when I'm realizing that a lot of people's success, like just through talking to people on the podcast and everything, and just if I take the time to reflect on my journey, it really is just like one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, and then before you know it, it's like a snowball effect. Do you remember when your snowball started, like the maybe like the first thing that started to build that momentum?
That is a great question. Honestly, I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
because I've always been in constant motion and constant like looking for growth. So
Yeah.
I don't have like a set time frame of when it actually was that. It just always was. I was always evolving in my head. Like I was telling someone, you people say you got to be where your feet are planted, but it doesn't mean your mind got to be there. So
Mm-hmm.
my mind, I was in the barber shop, but my mind was telling me, go this way, go that way, go do this, go do that. So it was always different for me that way. So I can't tell you like when it happened, but I always look at like Lil Wayne. Like I grew up in that Lil Wayne era. And
Yeah.
just for him to have that consistency and that greatness, that's what kind of mimicked Jay the same way, like the consistency and the greatness over time. And that's how I looked at my career. It was like, as long as I was constantly elevating and evolving,
Yeah.
I knew I was on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. Has there been a moment, I guess recently, when you look up and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I prayed for this. Like this is the rooms that I prayed for. This is the opportunities that I've been wanting." Or like, when did you realize that? Because I'm starting to have those realizations.
Um, to be honest, yeah, I do that a lot because I think sometimes we don't never celebrate our small wins enough. So in order to celebrate your small wins to see how far you come when big things happen, you got to reflect. And I
Hmm.
think I've started doing that more and more because it does matter. Like, yo, like I can't believe I did this, and this, but it led to this.
Yeah.
I got this because of what I did 10 years ago. And I'm always gonna tell you, like, be a believer in the fruits of your labor. Like I did work that, 10, 12 years ago that just now I'm scoring off of. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's like setting up the play.
Yeah, for sure. Setting up the play and realizing that a lot of things is like a long game. That's what I'm realizing. The connections that I've made, the networking and everything. I think people are so focused on getting results right now. But like you said, 10 years from now is when something may pop off if you decide to stay the course.
100%. And I just stayed the course.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's all it was. I just stayed the course.
Yeah. One thing you talked about at the Salon Centric event was the brand versus the CEO. And I would love to know from you the difference or the differences or the similarities between Popular Nobody, the brand, and the CEO, or like where they like intersect.
The brand, um, the brand is more about how to create a movement for the brand. Like, what am I doing to create that movement? Am I staying up with like I produce merch? So it's like, am I creating merch not for the CEO, but am I to making merch for the masses? So it's like
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. The thinking changes. When you're a CEO, you are another brand, but your brand is yourself at that point, and now you're speaking to a different type of audience that want to become CEOs, and then you have people that want to start out by being a brand. So it's like you're moving in two different worlds, two different languages, and you just got to be able to be comfortable with both sides of it, and that's
Right.
that's really the difference. Like your decision making as a CEO has to be different from the decision maker as the brand.
That makes sense. That makes, yeah, you did say you want to create a movement, not a
Hmm.
moment. I said, ooh, let me write that down.
Yeah, definitely. The brand is going to create the movement.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what the whole brand is about, is creating a movement. So it puts when you create a movement with your brand, that means it grew legs and people believe in it and they're gonna continue to grow legs with you and continue to push it and grow it and make it bigger than the CEO can.
Right, right. And showing up authentically too, so that
Yeah, I'm
people
definitely gonna be that.
to catch the vibe. I like that though. I like when people show up as themselves and don't feel like they have to code switch in the room, and that just takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, you can tell by that panel, I was definitely me.
I love that. That's what they say about what's that man? E.T. Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas.
Yeah, they say he
Yeah.
gonna show up in his fitted cap, in his t-shirts, and no matter what room he's in, they know that he's gonna show up. If he showed up into like a conference with a business suit on or something, they would probably be like, "Who is that?" They probably wouldn't even
And
recognize him.
and that's how I am. I'm showing up just as me.
I love, but why do you think it's so hard for people to be or to wrap their mind around like authenticity sometimes?
Because
Just
sometimes
being
they don't
themselves.
realize, because sometimes they know their authenticity sometimes is full of shit.
Oh my God. And nobody's gonna buy it.
Nobody gonna buy it. You know what I mean? So it's like, is this really you? Because the real you, sometimes you're gonna put that on Instagram and it might slip up.
Mm,
And a person can really sit back and watch you from
right,
that one slip up and be like, oh, this who they really are. You can
right.
tell how people, you can tell like what somebody really like by like the friends they keep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like if your real circle of friends, if they with the business, you got to not have them publicly around you all the time because guess what? Sometimes that scare people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to be mindful of how you're moving and what you're doing to still be able to show up as yourself. Like people, I just recently cut my hair. When I was in Tampa, I had dreads, and
I thought something was different. I'm like, I know I literally just looked at his Instagram and he had locks, but I was like, maybe he got it pulled back in a ponytail or something.
nah, it's
Oh my gosh.
and somebody asked me, they said, you know, what was one of the things that made me cut my hair? And there was a lot of different deciding factors, but one of the things is I told him, I said, I'm about to level up again. I said, and inside
Mm-hmm.
that level up, I could change my hair, but I can't change the way I dress.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
So I'd rather sacrifice cut my hair than changing the way I'm authentically showing up as myself and being comfortable as me. I could put
Yeah.
a baseball cap on and that's me. You know what I mean? But if I change my dress code, then it's like, nah, that I'm not comfortable like that.
Got you. So it's gonna take some level of sacrifice or some level
Yeah.
of, yeah.
Everything takes sacrifice in the life that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
What are you willing to sacrifice? And is it a compromise or a sacrifice? You got to know the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that helped me to realize if I was showing up authentically was when I started doing video content, like especially like YouTube and stuff like that, because I would always, for me, I don't want to say I don't self-reflect, but I just look at myself differently. I guess we all do. We look at ourselves differently than other people perceive us. So at one point I couldn't tell like if I was being myself or not, like just with the noise of social media. But when I started doing video and watched it back, I was like, oh yeah, that's me. I be talking like that, or I do act like that in real life. So maybe that's something that could
Mhm.
help people realize like looking at yourself, how other people look at you, like on video.
Yeah, that's one thing I tell anyone. Like, you want to know how to get better on camera. Watch yourself. You'll see all your
Mhm.
bad habits. You'll pick up on all the things you like. Damn, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. And like that's one of the things I do when I'm at a hair show. And if my videographer is with me, typically we'll go back to the room and I'll watch videos from today, like stage presentations, and be like, okay, I'm gonna switch that up for tomorrow. I'm gonna say something different.
Yeah.
Where people just like not learning from the content that they film in.
Yeah, for sure. So
Crazy.
how did you oh go ahead.
I know I was like, that's just crazy to me. Like you
Yeah.
filming it, learn from it.
Yeah. Don't just film it, set it, and forget it. Some people don't want to watch themselves back. It took me a minute. I think I could watch myself back and I think I'm used to it now, but I used to cringe at my voice. Like I started doing the podcast. I'm like, do I really sound like that? But now I don't care.
Yeah, nah, get to it.
Yeah. How did you get into teaching and platform educating?
That's a great question. So my mother, Doris Mosley, she's like the Oprah Winfrey of hair, you know what I mean?
Oh.
And so growing up, like I hated, you know, the thought of being a barber or being a cosmetologist. And then as I got older, I just didn't want to play college football anymore. So I jumped into hair. And my mom told me one day, she was like, if you do good at this, if you put energy into it, you'll be good at it. And then I started
Mhm.
doing it. But my mother always been a platform artist, always been an educator, always worked with
Wow.
brands. And so she put me on stage and I fell in love with it. And my personality naturally is like I'm a big comedian. Like I just laugh and joke around all day long. And so
Mhm.
I figured out how to take what I did in the barber shop and transition it to a stage. And then I figured out how to put education with the jokes that I'm saying. And so that's my kind of style. Like I tell people, I don't educate you, I educate you.
Yeah.
So
And
that's literally how it happened. Like my mother threw me on stage and I fell in love with it. And I just started rolling.
I love that. And then the other, like when she put you on the stage, were you educating like independently or for a brand?
I started out independently.
Mhm.
And then I just did the independent thing, like the music world. Like I'm an underground artist. Like I'm independent. I'm showing up
Yeah.
places. Like let me get on stage. Let me do this. And then finally, companies started realizing like what I was about and who I was, and there was no gimmick to me. Once again, he gonna be him.
Yeah.
And then I just continued to work my way up, and I started working with a company that taught me how to be an educator a little bit better. And then I just kept tweaking, kept tweaking, kept tweaking, and now I'm super seasoned. I'm super like the stage is home to me. Like I love being on stage, and it's just fun.
Yeah, I love that. Do you think that in order to get opportunities like that, you need proof of concept first before brands pull you in? They want to see that you're actually doing it first before they bring you
Yeah,
in.
I think so now more so than ever because before it was different. Like before COVID, shit was sweet. Like you were able to be an influencer for these brands,
Right.
and they if you had a big following, they just hired you to be an influencer. Well, now the influencer market is pretty much going backwards, and you got to
Mm,
be an educator. You got to learn how to stand up and teach, not just in front of people, but on camera. And it's so many different levels to it now. So now, influencer is not as good as an educator.
mhm.
So now you got to be able to educate and be in your bag and really you're in as an educator, you're in sales, but you're in indirect sales. You have to
Mhm.
be able to teach what the product is about, but you're also teaching your technique, your methods using this product, which is what makes you indirect because you're
Yeah.
teaching your way to then sell the product. And
Gotcha.
so I think influencers don't have that. Influencers just like got a million followers. Oh my God, look at me. This is what I love to use. And people buy off their name, image, and likeness.
Mhm.
Opposed where educated, you got to dive in and really give the what and the why and the how.
Right. You gotta know your stuff and not just how it works on you, how it works for other people.
Right.
Yeah, I always tell people, social media or just the world in general is like the Emerald City. It's like going to see the wizard because like one day green is in, and they say, nah, it ain't green, today is red. Like they gotta conform, be ready for the red. One of the things you mentioned too is just as a business owner or brand owner, being flexible. You gotta be able to like pivot really quick. How many times have you pivoted like the last, well, since the pandemic?
I'm still pivoting. You got to change everything. You got to change your whole approach. And when people complain like, "Oh, the algorithm is nothing but human beings."
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have to just continue to change and learn the different human behaviors in order to see the success that you are looking for. And so I think we all are on a constant pivot if you're successful.
Absolutely. You got to keep moving. I guess the pivot is just whenever you decide to keep moving forward, there's always going to be a next level and a pivot that has to happen.
Yeah, you can't be afraid to go right or left. You just can't turn around, but go right
Mm,
or left. And then once you go that way for a little bit, get back straight.
right.
You know what I mean? So that's the pivot. The pivot is simple, right or left. But if you're gonna make a U-turn, you still got to come back out of that U-turn
Oh, yeah.
going nah. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to make sure that you always progressing forward, even though sometimes you may have to look to the left or right.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I know it's probably not probably there are levels to being a barber. We have people that are like in the shop, we got the educators, the speakers, with some other areas.
I could just tell you from my perspective of what I do.
Hmm.
Um, I'm an educator. I'm in a shop. Well, I'm not in a shop, but I still cut behind the chair. I do have clients. I'm a director, executive director for a few barber schools. I still have celebrity clients. I'm educating around the world for different companies, creative directors for different companies. So I got my hands in a little bit of every part of this industry, which is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. And I wish more people will understand. Don't just stand behind a chair and think that's the only source of income. When you get your license, you could become anything you want to do in this part of our industry in this facet. So it's like opening yourself up to bigger and better opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. For the people who want to maybe get into celebrity work or something like that, because that's like a big thing for makeup artists. I never aspired to be a celebrity makeup artist. I have worked with celebrities, but I never aspired to, but some people do. So like if they want to be intentional about attracting those people and keeping those people as clientele, what are some things that they should do?
That's a great question. And my answer would be understand that they're human.
Mm-hmm.
They go through the same kind of drama that you probably go through. When I'm with my baseball clients, I don't talk baseball with them. I talk any other sport or anything other than that sport that they play because that's their office. You know what I
Right.
mean? I don't ask my celebrity clients for photos. I don't ask them for tickets to shows. I don't ask them for jerseys or anything like that. It's strictly this is our business relationship. And eventually that will turn into us becoming friends to where, and also I don't ever ask them to wear anything popular to nobody. I
Mm-hmm.
wait till they be like, yo, bro, why you ain't never gave me a shirt? Why you ain't never gave me a hat? Because that means
Right.
they want it and they want to support it, opposed to me being like, wear this. And they feel like, damn, well, I got to pay you for a haircut and I'm wearing your merchandise. And like, nah, so
Right.
it's like those little things. Like always think about the business side of what you're doing before you think about what it's gonna look like to be cool on Instagram for a photo.
Yeah, for sure. Do barbers go through what is the promo thing? What do they call it? I know I used to get people a lot. It's like if you do my makeup, I'll post you type of
Yeah,
thing.
we
Like
go do that.
people do that still?
Yeah, I ain't fell for
I did before, and they'll definitely
it.
tag you after they tag you after they done got all the likes and the comments and everything like that. They
Yeah,
come back and tag you. I'm like, it don't even matter anymore.
I wasn't part of the first wave.
I got stuck in it, but
Yeah, nah, I don't do that.
what advice would you give to a barber if they don't want to go that route? How you politely say no? I'm not doing
Um, I had somebody reach out to me and they was like, "Oh, you charge more than the last person." I'm like, "Well, okay, cool. Call the last person." It's
it.
just that simple. Like, but it's a reason why the last person didn't work. So
Hmm.
call the last person. I ain't tripping. Like,
Yeah.
you extra money at that point. You're not even my client. You just an extra opportunity that potentially could become a client. But if this is how we starting out our relationship and you already negotiating my prices,
Yeah.
then what are we doing this for?
Yeah, for sure. What's some other red flags that you've seen that are indicators that somebody's gonna be a headache?
um, when they don't value your time like they want you to value theirs.
Hmm.
They'll literally call you and I'll be sitting in the studio for hours and I'm like, oh well you gotta wait, man. I'm almost done. Bro, why didn't you just tell me when you was gonna be done? And, you
Yeah.
know, when they don't want to pay for like they asking you to travel, but they don't want to pay for it up front. They like, oh,
Hmm.
you book it, you do all the thing, and then just send me an invoice. Sometimes the invoices never get paid out.
Oh my gosh.
So just really being mindful, you
Hmm.
know.
Yeah. How do you feel about net 30, net 60, those type of things?
Um, I try to get net 10.
I know that's right. I want
Yeah,
net right now.
net now. You know what I mean? But I understand that it happens, because sometimes that's just how their business payroll might be set up.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's like record labels might pay the artist every 30 days. So when that artist getting that, you part of that 30-day payout. So it's just really like adjusting your money to know that you're gonna get paid in 30 days or 60
Yeah.
days, but you got to do the work now. So
I'm like, pay me from the savings account because I just can't. I totally hate it because I had an experience recently where it was supposed to be net 30 and it ended up being like net 61. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, where's my money?
yeah, it's crazy, but that's part of it, you know. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. Like even on my invoices, like if I feel a certain like vibe, I'm gonna put automatically net 30 on the bottom to give
Mhm.
them 30 days to figure out. If they pay me before, that's great. But now you know I'm expecting this within the 30-day time frame.
Yeah. Oh Lord. Oh my God. What's one thing that you wish more barbers knew about branding themselves for the type of work that they want to do?
That everything you see on Instagram ain't gonna work.
Oh.
You got to figure out what worked for you. You got to get a mentor to help you guide yourself in the right direction. Um, and don't be afraid to invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for me.
Yeah, investing in yourself. I've had so many coaches and stuff over the years, been in coaching programs and makeup stuff, or just business. More, it didn't start to turn more so into business because I feel like a lot of beauty pros, we're just creative and we just want to do the fun stuff, but sometimes the business suffers on the other end. So I started tapping into like a lot of business coaches and stuff like that.
Yep. It's all needed.
Are you like a big
All needed.
networker?
No.
No,
I ain't gonna hold you. Like,
but you a popular nobody though.
yeah, I'm quiet. Like when I walk, like think about it, in that beauty blazer room, I was quiet.
Hmm.
I was quiet until I got on stage.
True, true.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of like my default is that I don't really talk much
But
until it's
when you
time for me to
do,
talk. Yeah, I make an impact,
hmm
you know? And so I'll step out and do like, if it's hair show weekend, then I'll go to certain things to put myself in a room with the right people. But I think so many people get networking confused where they just think because you're in a room, you networking.
right,
Nah, you could be in the wrong room having the wrong conversations, or you
right.
could have went two doors down and had been in the right room and having all the right conversations. So I
Hmm.
kind of look at networking that way. Like, am I in the right space? Am I in the right room to go to the level that I want to go to?
Yeah. Are you an introvert?
I would say I can be.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can be. But when you get to know me, like I'm gonna make you laugh for hours and hours on end, and we're gonna have fun together. But just to get to know me at first, I'm quiet. I speak when spoken to most of the time. I'm always gonna walk in the room and be respectful, like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" and blah 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 blah. But after that, I'm gonna duck off and get quiet and be in my own little space. But
Yeah.
if somebody come up and talk to me, I'm gonna talk.
Got you, got you. Yeah, Friends in Beauty actually started off as networking events because I just love connecting with people. And then when the pandemic happened, I had to pivot to the podcast because I ain't had nobody to talk to. I was like, I still want to meet people and connect with people in the industry, but this was like the only way to do it. But I love the fact about just getting in the rooms. I'm always telling people, get in the room because all the opportunities I've gotten that are like brag worthy as a makeup artist have literally come from, I was telling them like rooms like being a beauty blazer or going to industry events and meeting people and making genuine connections. Like if you're not vibing with somebody, don't force it. So if you're vibing with somebody and you actually keep in contact and build that relationship, like everything that I've gotten has come as a direct result from that. And I know one thing you mentioned too at the Beauty Blazers events is just like once you get in the room, focus on scaling. That's one thing that you said. So how are you
Mhm.
intentional about the rooms that you enter? How are you intentional about growing your brand or scaling after that?
For the most part, I know every room I'm walking into who gonna be in there.
Mm-hmm.
I did my homework before. So I
Hmm.
might be walking into a room with a specific target in mind.
Right.
Like, yo, I'm going to talk to this person. So that's kind of how I am, you know, with my intentionality of walking into those rooms. And then just by default, you know what I mean? You talk to people, and then this person bring another person into the conversation, and there go that, and now you're putting a lot of connecting a lot of dots. And the most important though, you got to be ready when you walk in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told people on my team, and I tell people when I speak to them, like, if you looking to have when you walk in a room with millionaires and you got $100 conversation for a millionaire, that's your fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to always be paired with your conversation, be prepared with your conversation to, man, you better have $1 million sales pitch to a millionaire. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or a good vision to sell that $100 conversation.
That's why I was so surprised when I saw you at the Salon Citric store because we literally had no idea what was going on as far as like the agenda, who was speaking or anything. So we couldn't prepare and say, oh, we know who's gonna be in the room other than, you know, like Tika and Karima or the other beauty blazers. So I was like, oh my gosh, Julisa's here too. Like it was just crazy.
Yeah, I literally flew in. I landed there around midnight.
Oh, okay, yeah. After we had the soiree and stuff.
Yeah, I missed all of that. I missed the
Snuck in.
first day, but
Yeah. Speaking of salon centric though, like how did you become It Takes a Pro team member?
a few years back they reached out to me, and I
Mm,
just looked at once again, looking at opportunity. I look at what's their umbrella, L'Oreal. So getting in that umbrella and knowing who I was as a person and seeing how our values align and the mission that they're trying to do and what I'm trying to do, they go together. And
mm,
so it started as a social part of their team as far as the It Takes the Pro team. And now from them seeing what I could do with my voice, they have me hosting events now and doing all the different things because I showed them that I was valuable enough to move into a different space, but I
yeah.
could still go back and play in the next space.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. You all just seem like such a big family. I was just so impressed by like the whole event and the people that they curated to come and speak to us. Like everything was just phenomenal. I'm still beaming so much from that event. I was like, that it really just seeing you all up there on the panel. I went to Tika afterwards. I was like, do they have this for makeup artists? Because I would love to do something like this, like be able to travel and educate because I do teach makeup 101 at a cosmetology school here in the DC area called Bennett Career Institute. So I teach the makeup program there. So I was like, I would love to. I get to travel, teach, make an impact. It just looked like so much fun.
No, it's definitely fun. And you become family with them because we share the stage together. We're all on threads together. So it's like you get an opportunity to really like, you're going to vibe with who you vibe with, of course.
Hmm.
But yeah, it become more like we look forward to seeing each other on the road. And when we get a call and it's like, oh, we on this show together, like boom, 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 we just have fun and you see it on stage.
Yeah, for sure. This is like a random question, but I'm so curious. I work at the cosmetology school sometime, and I saw one of your posts too, where you were like teaching the students how to cut, but they would want a mannequin. Like, what do y'all do with those mannequins afterwards? Like, how do you get more hair on it, or do you just throw it away?
We just work them slow and save them.
Oh my God.
Um,
But when it gets low, then it's done.
then it's done. We use it for like other things that we could teach, like sectioning through having them draw on them, or for shaving, we'll draw on the faces.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's pretty much done.
That is so funny. I was just so curious. I'm like, so is there a way the hair grows back or a little
Nah,
crank or something's in there?
it's over with.
Oh, that might be a cool thing though. Like if it was like a crank system in there with the hair, you could like crank the hair out.
Pivot Point got one where the whole top of the head is missing, so you just take it off and put a new one on.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I don't know
That's
nothing
pretty
about hair.
dope. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I don't know anything about hair at all.
And
Do you have any products? Do you sell products too?
I sell more merch, clothes, hats, hoodie, like stuff like that.
Hmm.
I don't do. I did have. So I'm the first artist to ever get his own Clipper deal with Andis.
Okay. That's a big
Um,
deal.
yeah, so I have my own Clipper deal with Andis.
Wow.
So that's the only other thing I sell besides myself. Like I'm the number one selling product of my brand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so
Hey.
that's how I look at it.
Yeah. So how do you take care of yourself as the number one product in your brand?
And that's a great question. I just recently signed up with a personal trainer. I'm on my second week of training, and I'm sore as hell right now. Um, I, and I committed to 6 o'clock in the morning to get my day going a little earlier to just
Mm,
kind of get that energy flowing, get that brain fog out by doing something with movement.
yeah.
Uh, I drink mushroom coffee,
Mm-hmm.
so I drink Rise mushroom coffee.
Yeah.
Um, what else I do? I stay. I go get IVs before I travel.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I saw your reel.
yeah, IVs, chiropractor, and IV chiropractor massages, manicure, pedicures. I stay. That self care is real when you're on the road the way you are, or the way I am.
Yeah, and I'm realizing too that you kind of got to stay on point too, because you never know when somebody's going to call you to come and speak or teach or something. So you got to
Yeah,
keep yourself together.
I gotta be ready. I gotta be ready.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Because like one of the things for me that I struggle with as far as authenticity, like we was talking about that earlier, is like the makeup. When we were in Florida, that was the most I had worn makeup in a long time. Like I don't be wearing makeup every day. So sometimes I just want to show up with no makeup. Like this just is like for events and the podcast and stuff like that. So on a normal basis, my authentic self does not have on makeup. But because I'm in the
Mhm.
industry that I'm in as a makeup artist, I feel like I have to show up that way. So
I don't always show up clean. Like
compromise.
sometimes I be scruffy.
Okay.
I be scruffy and I'm like, listen, not every barber gotta be clean all the time. Sometimes
Mhm.
when you too clean, I mean you just got too much time on your hands.
Sure, you've been working.
Yeah, I'll be wanting to sit down and relax and go to sleep in the barber chair like the clients do.
Hmm. I hear that. I hear that. Well, like being in the industry for 15 plus years, what would you say are some mindset shifts that were necessary, I guess, from you to go from just being a barber to now being like an industry leader?
Uh, and kind of go back to what I was saying, doing the not, find out what everybody else not doing and do that.
Mm,
Um, the mindset was more important things. It's not just about the art that we create. It's about the business that we build. It's the
mm,
legacy that we leave. So I had to shift my mindset into wanting to make a movement. You got to inspire and impact people,
hmm
and
hmm
that was a mindset shift.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. 'Cause I know
Serve,
a lot
serve
of people,
people.
yeah, serve people. I like that too. A lot of people like struggle with imposter syndrome a lot in the beginning, but also when they make it big too. Like, have you ever
Hmm.
struggled with that or still struggle with that every now and then? Or are you pretty like secure, like, no, like I got this.
Uh, it wasn't imposter syndrome. What it was is more or less playing down. I don't know if
Mm,
you ever hear about that term, like in sports, where it's like I didn't want to overshine people because I didn't want them to feel some type of way. But then I had to realize, like, man, I'm not about to sit here and let you worry me about your feelings. I just got to be great because at the
mm,
end of the day, you coming from my spot and I'm letting you look like you can even play with this spot. So let me turn it up and be who I am and be great at what I do and not worry
mm.
about how your feelings may feel after how great I am.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh. A lot of people are afraid of being perceived wrong or something, or feeling like they're bragging. A lot of people tell me that a lot. I don't want to feel like I'm bragging or people to think I'm better than them. I don't know what it is.
So then you don't brag. Let the people brag for you.
True.
If other people, NAHA brags for me.
Right.
NAHA said I was the best in North America. So I'm letting NAHA talk. I ain't got to say a word.
Right. I like that. Let the people talk for you.
Yeah, let them talk for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
for
didn't say I
sure.
was the best. NAHA said I was the best. So thank you, NAHA, for PBA for allowing me to be the best
Absolutely. Have there ever been a moment where you wanted to quit?
every day,
Every day.
every other week. I feel like quitting.
What?
Nah, you just get tired. you just
Mm-hmm.
get the moments where you like worn down, like you like, damn, like again, I gotta do it again. I gotta do it again.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's a little challenging where I'm like, I just like I had a moment last year where I was like, I just want to run into the mountains and hide for a weekend and just like no cell phone, no nothing, just drop
Yeah.
everything and just live a little bit on my
Mm.
own. Um, so when I get those moments, I understand that's just a moment, but it's hard sometimes, but I'm doing it with a purpose.
Yeah, that is that what keeps you going, the purpose,
The people,
the people.
because I know I'm hope for somebody. I know I'm in a position where other young black artists, young Latin artists can look at me and be like, well, damn, if he could do a dress the way he dressed, if he could do it the way and sound the way he sound, I'm hope for people. So yeah, that's what keep me going.
Yeah, I say the same thing for certain things now. I'm like, it's outside of me. It's outside of me now in the sense of like, I know people are looking forward to certain things from me or expect certain things, and I don't want to let them down. I'm like, I know they're looking for like for me to
Hmm.
do the podcast like every Wednesday. They might be like, okay, it's today's Thursday. What happened to that episode yesterday? So I really pride myself on that, just the consistency. But those are the things I guess keep me motivated to show up with
That's it.
people.
The people do it for the people.
Let me see. I just read this book too called Rest is Resistance. I was showing someone else it earlier, but
Okay,
it really I know it's one of them books that I'm going to pick up again sometime in life, but it just kind of talks about being intentional with resting and taking that time, even if it's 15 minutes in a day, just being intentional with saying, okay, this is my time. Let me take a break real quick and then get back to it. Because Lord, the ways society makes you feel guilty for taking a break is crazy. And it's like you shouldn't feel guilty for taking care of yourself or taking the time that you need.
right. Yeah, I'm taking my time.
I hear that. That
Yeah, I'm
to-do
taking
list
my
be like
time.
right here though.
What? Do it. Sometimes I'll pull my laptop out and I'll be like, yeah, no, I ain't even
Yeah,
worry
nah,
about
I'm
it.
good. Close that thing right on back.
Yeah, for real, because it's you do it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
You do it all day long. So when I get home, it's like, do I want to edit content? I
Mm-hmm.
think about it. And the time that I do edit content is like when I'm sitting back chilling watching a game.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm watching a game, it's nothing because now, like, I'm gonna be sitting here anyway.
Right. Makes
Or
sense.
I had surgery and I was like, well, I'm sitting here. So one day I edit 20 videos,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just sitting here. So I bought a laptop so that I could function better on the airplane. If I'm
Right.
sitting on an airplane, I could edit content.
Yep. Sure can. I'll be doing
So
that sometime if I can stay awake because airplanes be knocking me out.
I know I'm staying awake. Unless I'm tired. Like when I flew back from Toronto, yeah, I needed that sleep.
I don't know what it
Yeah,
is. Sometimes I'm asleep before the plane even takes off. I don't know if it's the cabin pressure or what it is, but I can't stay awake on a plane sometimes to save my life.
like you just be tired.
Mm. I be tired too. Yeah. Yeah. How have you been, I guess, intentional about balancing it all? I heard you mention you have a son earlier. So how, I don't know, is that your only child?
I
Yeah.
have
So how you
multiple.
like balancing family and all the things, the traveling and all the work, all the things that you're doing?
I don't use the word balance
Mm-hmm.
because nothing is ever going to be balanced.
That's the
So
same thing. Harmony.
I use pace.
Oh, you did mention that pace.
Yeah, I figure out what my pace is,
Uh-huh.
and then as I'm adding things into my rhythm, I either slow my rhythm down, speed my rhythm up, and then I get it into a pace, and then I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
yeah,
literally,
I don't look for balance. I look for a pace.
I literally have it written down in my notebook right here. It
Yeah,
says
there you
there's no
go.
such thing as balance. It's all about pace. I wrote that down.
Yeah, because balance, because even like if like I use the analogy, like if you stand up on one leg, you still gonna sway back and forth. So
Mm-hmm.
are you really balanced?
Right.
No. But if you find a pace, it's always sometimes it's but it's gonna stay at a pace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that. Period. What does the next level look like for you? with so much success and accolades that you have already?
Right now I'm focused on trying to get brand deals outside of the beauty space.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I think my voice and my mindset and my energy could be contagious to any environment. So I'm trying to see what else I can get into outside of the space that I'm in. So I think that's it. So whatever that is, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to be, but that's what I'm working towards.
Yeah, I like that.
Um, so I think that's really it, and just continuing to be great with what I do in our space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm just curious to know, what do you think has contributed to, I don't know, like the way you show up? Like when I feel like the two times that I've heard you speak, I guess it's experience and everything like that. Of course, life experience, but I just feel like you have so much knowledge up in here. Like, what do
yeah.
you, life experiences, all like what contributes to the way you show up and are able to give?
It's life experience. Um, I come from a family that is in the beauty space, but also I come from a family that got gang members, drug dealers in it. You know what I mean? So just life in general. I watched a lot growing up. Um, but then it's also too just my heart. You know, I always try to lead and help people. So I
Mm-hmm.
always lead with a servant heart. And so I think that's where the wisdom and knowledge come from is the life that I've been able to go with through my family experiences, but also how I show up for people. And then I just like being happy. I like seeing people happy. I love smiling. So um, I found a unique way to communicate and use real life scenarios to educate people. Either it's through haircuts, through conversation, through whatever it is. But I find ways to get relatable information to you to make you remember.
Yeah, I like that. Relating to the people. I love
That's
it.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Look at that haircut.
Yeah. My hats don't fit no more. I
I
gotta grow my
really was
hair out a
over here
little bit.
like I literally just looked at his page. Like he had lots. Or it could have been extensions. You know, guys, y'all be
No,
doing
no,
this
no, no,
stuff
no, no, no,
now.
no. I'm too authentically me. That was my hair. I grew it out. I got pictures to show the process.
Erica Badu us.
No, no. Everybody was like, "What you do with them? You could have put them back in."
I don't
Nah,
like that.
no, no. This it was mine. I cut them off. They went in the trash, and if I want them again, I'll grow them again.
Yeah. I don't like that. I've been growing my locks for I think 16 years and I always threaten to trim them or cut them. People like, oh, you can always put them back. I'm like, why would I do that? Like, I don't want to do that.
Hair is living. Why would I try to? I deadened it. I cut it off. So
Or the people that attach other people's locks to their locks.
that's
You seen that?
crazy. I'm not putting nobody else energy on me.
Yeah,
Man,
that's I don't want it.
yeah, you can keep it.
But you can
They
keep
cut.
that.
Yeah, they cut it for a reason.
Uh-huh. Yep. So at the end of the day, like what are you working on your legacy to be? What do you want people to say about the popular nobody when it's all said and done?
He was a king. That's it. My mom nicknamed me King from when I was born, and um, he was at the top, and he
Mm,
lived at the top. He loved at the top. He learned at the top. Everything that he did was from the top. So I want people to say that, but more importantly, I want people to always speak about my interactions with them and how I made them feel. How did
mhm.
I help them? And to me, that's what I want my legacy to be.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, you're living it already, so
Right.
keep it going. Keep it going. Anything coming up next for you that you could share? I know y'all be having NDAs and stuff.
No, no, no. I'm not that guy. What I got coming up? I'm at every hair show for the rest of the year. So I'll be at ABS Chicago this weekend. I'll be in Kentucky at Glam Camp for Salon Centric, and I got a hands-on cutting class in at Premier Orlando. So I'm doing a bunch of little things. I'm starting a new podcast called the Unstoppable Mind. So
Ooh.
that'll be dropping soon. Um, I got my popular Nobody Listens podcast. So I got that going. So it's like just now I'm about to hit this YouTube market pretty heavy.
Okay. You gonna need
Uh,
some more IVs. You might have to just walk around
oh
with them.
yeah, I'm going to get an IV on Wednesday. Two bags.
Walk around with your drip bag and everything for that energy you will need to do all this stuff.
Then you know what's crazy? Like I'm like energetic off life because I'm blessed, like, and I know it. So it's like I wake up with a purpose. So I'm excited every day. I can do something different. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get IVs because I do be dehydrated, but
Hmm.
I'll be ready to go though.
I haven't tried it yet. I have a acquaintance or whatever that she has a popular IV drip business here, and I'm like, I want to try it, but I'm scared.
Nah, it's cool.
I never had
You
an
feel
IV for
good.
anything, so
You feel good within like 20 minutes.
really, yeah, I should
Yeah.
try it.
Nah,
Mm.
you got to. That's why I said I'm going Wednesday to get two bags of it.
And what is it in particular that you're getting? Like a certain vitamin?
I get everything: zinc, magnesium, B12,
I probably need
potassium.
that because I don't take
Yeah,
vitamins.
like yeah, like your skin don't even change. You got great skin right now, but it's gonna do something different to it
Oh my God.
because
Okay.
you hydrated. You like super hydrated. Like water, everybody think water hydrate us. It don't. Not like that. And this is going directly into your bloodstream.
Wow. Oof.
So I get a bag of vitamins and then I get a bag of saline. So
Mm,
one bag of just straight liquid, and then one
wow.
bag with souped up. Yeah.
Oh, that's why he be coming with all that energy and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, before I let you go, I have to ask you the friends and beauty rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So whatever comes to your mind first, you can spit it out. If you need to elaborate, that's fine. It's not scary, I promise. So
Okay.
the first one is, what are the top three keys to your success so far?
Staying hungry, staying humble, and staying open.
Staying hungry, humble, and open. How do you measure your success?
I measure my success as I'm blessed AF.
Okay. I love it. What's the best advice you've ever received or a piece of advice that's always stuck with you?
You can't leave a legacy if you don't show who you are and what you do.
You can't leave a legacy if you don't show who you are, what you do. What advice would you give to another barber right now who is just not having a great time in business and they're just ready to give up?
Come holler at me.
Come holler at Popular Nobody, get some coaching.
Come get that good coach in your life.
Absolutely. What's a resource that helps you in your business that you can share with the friends and beauty community?
My circle of influence.
Hmm.
Um, my circle of influence, my family, the people I call family, um, and just understanding that you got to be a chameleon.
Hmm. A
That's
chameleon.
it.
Yeah. Okay. So the last one is just a statement. Yeah, a statement that I want you to repeat and just say, my name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is blank, like whatever you think it is.
All right. Oh, I got to remember all that.
My name is blank, and the key to longevity and success is.
I got you. My name is John Mosley, and the keys to success and longevity is always smiling when you walk in the room and always remembering you got a purpose and you got to find it so that you could grow faster than you thought you could.
I love it. So get to finding it. You ain't
Yeah.
gonna find it sitting at home Netflix and chilling, maybe. I don't know, but probably not. Probably not.
You're going to find something.
Find something else. 9 months
Yeah.
later. Before you go, please share your social media information, website, whatever you want people to do to connect with you, follow the journey, get some coaching, tap in.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the easiest way to get at me is through Instagram. Slide my DM at popular underscore nobody, and just start out with a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Let's see how I can help you grow. And I might be the right fit. I might not be the right fit, but I got people in my circle that I could recommend if I ain't the one. Um, so that's gonna be the fastest way to get at me. You can visit my website, thepopularnobody.com. And my email is simple, jm@thepopularnobody.com. And I believe I've got my business line on my Instagram. Let me open it up real quick to see. No, I took the phone number off, but yeah, just message me. You know what I mean? I can help you.
Awesome sauce. Well, thank you so much for your time, John. This is a great conversation. I'm glad I got to chat with you and meet you, and I look forward to seeing all the amazing things you continue to do, blessing people with your gifts on stage and everything, educating and using your voice. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another friend in beauty. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, rate, and leave a 5-star review so that other friends in beauty can find the show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.